in hearing the LGBT cases at the Supreme Court. Meanwhile, Judicial Service says delays in hearing the cases is not their fault. Also this morning, teachers of colleges of education say they may be forced to strike again following government failure to meet their demands. Details of these and many more coming out shortly. Do stick and stay. My name is Judith Brown. We start with some issues on Galamsey, and Organized Labour says it will proceed with a nationwide strike despite its meeting with President Akufo-Addo asking for more time. Spokesperson for Organized Labour, Joshua Ansah, says Organized Labour will not back down. Meanwhile, government has 3 working days to prevent the strike.
The Organized Labour meeting was held behind closed doors. It was extremely heated among members who had pushed for an immediate strike. But the leadership insisted that it will proceed as stated by October 10. Joshua Ansah is the spokesperson for Organized Labour.
The president has not said anything. We had a discussion. We said by the 10th of October, if nothing has been done, there will be a nationwide strike. The president discussed the issues with us, our demands with us, and what he's able to do is what he's told us, and it's written vividly on this paper. That is all.
Other labor union leaders asked government and the President Akufo-Addo to announce the total ban before Thursday, October 10.
All Ghanaians are solidly behind the campaign against Galamsey. And so he will enjoy the support of the entire country once he supports the fight against Galamsey by taking those necessary actions. And we are counting on him to do so. And we believe that he can and he must, do that to save lives and to save the future generation.
We've sent series of notice to your outfit to the extent that we've had a committee with you headed by Honorable Kendapa, and it will wonder you to know that ever since we met them, we've not had any concrete decision. So we are saying that the government must come out to say something, and I believe when such a thing is done, it's going to help all of us. Otherwise, the Organized Labour is bent on going on strike on the 10th.
We are even coming out with a pack for all the aspiring political parties and their presidential candidates to sign into that pact that we know within these 2 months or 3 months that is left for election, no government can implement fully all that we want. But when they come to power, we hold them responsible. We want Ghanaians to be our witnesses.
Now, despite several calls for a ban on all mining activities, mining licenses are still being issued by the Minerals Commission. Responding to a question from the Parliament's Assurance Committee, the ministry says it has not received any communication from government to stop issuing mining licenses. Here's a report.
The past few weeks have seen a myriad of demonstrations and protests by various sections of the public for a complete halt on all illegal mining activities. And while many have criticized government and the president for their silence on the matter, concerns have been raised about the supposed continuous issuance of mining licenses, even at such a critical period. Appearing before Parliament's Assurance Committee, CEO of the Minerals Commission, Martin Kwesi, explained the move is a result of a lack of government's directive to halt licensing.
I have not received any instructions from government or minister to say, can you hold on? So, respectively, as I sit here and as we speak, my officers are online processing applications for small scale that have been received over the period, maybe today, last week, last year, because sometimes when applications come in, you have to check to see whether or not he meets all the criteria.
For him, the continuous issuance of licenses will reduce the influx of illegal miners.
When my minister took office in 2001, the first thing he told me was that, Martin, the delay in issuing licenses, it is what is creating the problem. So, cut the delays. What did you do? We went online. So what hitherto will take a year or two now, even a week or two, they upload, we do the inspection, and then they go to on fees. When you don't give them the license, what they will do is that they'll go and do it illegally.
Statistics from the Ghana Mining Repository, however, reveal a different situation. Per the records, Ghana has issued 1,696 mining licenses in the past 8 years, representing a 2,800% increase compared to 57 licenses issued since 1995. Despite this, illegal mining activities have skyrocketed, polluting the country's river bodies and degrading our land reserves.
What we are dealing with is only the Volta River that gave us a little hope. You know, even that we are hearing that it is just a matter of time.
The Minerals Commission, however, claims a ban on mining activities is not the way to go.
Until we put money in geological investigations and adopt a more aggressive approach in investigating all these several thousands of blocks that Minerals Commission has designated as blockade areas, with the view to investigating them and then defining all bodies so that we give it out to the small-scale miners, then we should forget about the issue, because the problem will not go away.
Do you have an idea how much we will need for that geological survey?
Even if you ask me, anything around $10 million, you know, and the money you have to begin every year, we can even start with $5 million.
The question then remains, is government really committed to ending the Galamsey menace? And if so, when will it act? Judith Brown, TV3 News.
Now, still on Galamsey, Accra is suffering from the devastating impact of illegal mining activities as the Wager Dam, which takes its source from the Densu River, is now being polluted. The Wager Dam supplies potable water to an estimated 6 million people in Accra. Stanley Niblu has been following up.
The rivers Pra, Birim, Tano, and Cobra and Bonsa have been heavily polluted following uncontrolled illegal mining activities in them. These rivers have been polluted with mercury, lead and cyanide, thus posing a threat to aquatic life and humans who rely on them for survival. The Densu River, which takes its source from the Etiwa Forest in the eastern region and enters the Gulf of Guinea at Botiano in the Greater Accra region, continue to provide safe drinking water to millions of people in Accra. However, the river is now heavily polluted. The state of the river in Isaom in the eastern region is troubling. Residents who rely on the water for their daily chores are no longer able to use it.
But by 5 days and 6 days ago, you want to say you color be say ya ta che say dey ntimi chira color ko poti ya aye nta ma won ntimi nsanso ni biem ya ete say be sini ma ji say ko bula akwa say ntimi nsanso nso na nsini ma biem nti wa wudi woni tunsu e hwe nsuo no ha sa woni mun dey nsunsu a na nya color we na ete.
Mariam has lived not far from the Densu River all her life. She tells me the present state of the river is alarming.
As you can see about the river, look at the color and look at how the Densu is coming. I never seen Densu like this since they born me. I never seen everything like this before. Me, as I can say now, is about the Galamsey. I use it to bath, I use Densu to cook, but for now I can't feed the water. I will always say it, the Galamsey is not good. They have to stop it. They have to stop it.
Currently, fishermen in Saum have halted fishing activities in the Densu River. But of more concern is the gradual pollution of the Wager Dam as a result of the spill effect of Galamsey activities upstream. The color of the water in the dam is turning brown, endangering potable water supplies for millions of people, with intense calls for government to act. Residents who are witnessing the change in the water turbidity are concerned about the implications. The case involving the Wager Dam pollution has been a trending issue on social media. The Ghana Water Company Limited is yet to respond to the public concern, But the sad reality is that Galamsey is polluting our water bodies, and the government must intervene. Stanley Nibleu, TV3 News, Wager.
Indeed, government must intervene. Meanwhile, security analyst Colonel Festus Abuaje says the declaration of a state of emergency goes beyond the deployment of military to the Galamsey sites to stop the menace. He says a holistic action by all citizens is required to nip the canker in the bud.
So the military has a role to play.
Right.
But with this brief statement, you realize that we need the police. For instance, to maintain law and order, effect some of the arrests, prosecute. We need customs, for instance, who will be working at the ports and harbors and borders, to confiscate and stop the importation of some of these, if they are mentioned in the state of emergency.
Right.
So it's more of a whole of a society approach, not necessarily the military. But let me end by saying that I've heard some persons also, including government, government spokespersons and so on, asking for a shoot-to-kill policy. I would beg to differ. We are in a democracy. There are many ways in which we can stop the Galamsey activities, granting that some of them are armed, without necessarily giving a carte blanche to security forces to go around and start shooting, and in the process we end up killing innocent people.
Let's head to the courts now. And leading member of Democracy Hub, Oliver Barker-Vormawor, has been denied bail again, this time by an Accra High Court. 21 others, including Felicity Nelson and Elom Ababio, also known as Ama Governor, were, however, granted bail upon their third time asking. These are part of 53 protesters who took part in a 3-day demonstration against illegal mining. Lord Iduasari sat to proceedings.
Two separate courts heard the bail applications of 22 Democracy Hub protesters who had earlier been denied by the Circuit Court. Elom Ababio, also known as Ama Governor, and 8 others were each granted a 70,000 bail with 2 sureties. The Criminal Court 4 also ordered that they deposit their Ghana cards as well as report to the police weekly until the final determination of the case. Despite an earlier suggestion by Attorney General Godfrey Adame to consider the bail applications at the next adjourned date, state attorneys opposed the bail of the protesters. After considering the arguments, Presiding Judge Comfort Asiame granted the bail application. The 8 other protesters granted bail are Emmanuel John, Emmanuel Kwabna Ado, Ziblim Yakubu, Oheneba Prempe, Philip Osukobina, Desmond Akisbik, Van Kofi, and Sadiq Yakubu. In a related case, an appeal by lawyers of Oliver Barker-Vormawor, Felicity Nelson, and 10 others was considered by the General Jurisdiction 12 of the Accra High Court. Lead counsel for the Democracy Hub leaders, Oliver and Felicity, argued that they were not flight risk and had identifiable fixed places of abode. But Presiding Judge Aite Amatete raised issue with Oliver Barker-Vormawor's involvement in another offense. He queried that what was the assurance he would show up in court or refrain from engaging in another offense. Dr. Justice Shremsai, however, indicated that despite a treason felony charge, Barker-Vormawor had consistently showed up in courts for the past 3 years. He argued that the present charges were misdemeanors, which would not deter his clients from showing up in court. Justice Amat Tete then denied the bail application for Oliver Barker-Vormawor and directed that the Circuit Court begin his trial in 72 hours. He said upon failing, the court may grant his bail application. The judge also granted a 20,000 bail with 2 sureties each to Felicity Nelson, Cedric Bansa, and 8 others. A lawyer of the protesters, Noble Nelson Amadonu, spoke to the media after the hearing.
We all know that today's Ghana, what you require is digital address, and most of them, their digital address is on their phones, which was seized by the police. So because their phones have been seized by the police and they not having access to their relatives, we are finding it difficult to get their exact house address. So as ordered by the court, they have to provide their house address before the execution of the bail bond.
As it stands, 21 Democracy Hub protesters have been granted bail by the Accra High Court. Now, one more person was denied bail, Fanny Otu. The court indicated that he did not appear on the first day
of the hearing, and so until he does that, lawyers can then apply for his bail application. Next hearing will be tomorrow, as another batch will be brought in for their bail application to be heard. Lodi Rasari, TV3 News, Accra High Court.
On to some more stories now. And sponsors of the Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill, popularly known as the Anti-Gay Bill, will this morning embark on a peaceful walk to the Supreme Court to protest delays in the bill's determination. Proponents of the bill will gather at the Kwame Nkrumah Circle in Accra before marching to submit a petition to both the Attorney General and the Chief Justice, Her Ladyship Gertrude Tokonu. Now, this action is part of their effort to expedite the bill, which has been pending since its passage by Parliament on February 28, 2024. A leading member of the protest, Mensa Thompson, says the delays are unfounded.
And so, if you want to administer justice and you are not conscious of the time boundness of justice, and you say because the processes or the system does not allow you to deliver the justice at a particular time, and you're going to delay it until a time when you feel comfortable or you feel convenient to come out with justice, then what you're doing is what you're doing is a clear injustice. And that is why we want the judiciary to understand that they cannot come in the name of some court processes to say that because of that we should allow them room for them to delay a matter. So it can be disposed of, just like so many cases that have gone to the court and have been disposed of in a very swift, and
Let's do some education-related stories. And teachers of the colleges of education say they may be forced to strike again after they suspended their 2-month strike in August. According to CTAG, their demands have still not been met despite government assurances. But President of the National Conference of Principals of Colleges of Education, Professor Samuel Atintonu, says a strike will not be needed as most of the teachers' concerns have been addressed. Evelyn Tingma reports.
Remember, members of CTAG went on strike for more than 2 months. The strike was later suspended, but by then, the academic calendar had been disrupted. Teacher trainees were expected to have written their exams and vacated last month, September. But as we speak, the trainees are now writing their end-of-semester exams and expected to finish on Friday, October 11 for vacation. But how did the school authorities restructure the calendar to make up the lost time? Professor Samuel Atintonu is a principal of the Accra College of Education and president of PRINCOF.
Students who have gone on break if we were to follow the normal calendar by 7 September. But because of that, we readjusted it. Other 6 weeks, they extended the teaching period. And they are writing exams now. Today is the third day across all the 46 colleges of education. I would wish to use this opportunity to thank CTAG members itself. Of course, they went on strike for certain things from government, to also thank the intervention of the Vice President Office.
But a member of the CTAG communication team, Fidelis Kamayi, says their demands are yet to be met.
We were given 26 August as the day for the payment of the all-year-round work done. As we speak, that money has not been paid. And it's not as though that amount of money is very huge. A small peanut. Initially, they gave us warrant that that money was going to be paid. When we went to get gift mix, we realized that it was a hoax.
He said they may be forced to strike again.
It looks like the strike is the way to go. But we are not happy whenever we embark on the strike. But sometimes when we are pushed to the wall, we have no option than to do that. We have issued a strike notice to National Labour Commission and our various key stakeholders, the ministry, the GTEC, and all other people that matter. So any moment, I don't know when the strike will be declared.
President of the National Conference of Principals of Colleges of Education, Professor Samuel Atintonu, says there will be no need to strike.
The major thing was the migration issue, and as I speak to you, all the 46 principals for the colleges of education got the data. That was sometime last week, and we returned it by last week Friday. So if they say their demands haven't been met, it is one item, that's the all year round, which government we actually got released from Minister of Finance. But when we got it, it turns out that the line item for that funding was not there, so we couldn't get money to validate or process for payment. So we have had to report back to GTEC and Minister of Finance. Again, by last week, they have brought in new releases, which we are trying to process on the giving season. So that's one of the challenging one, but I think it is almost resolved. So with that one, I don't think there's any issue that warrant a strike.
He assured the teachers every matter will be resolved by end of October. Some students say their teachers had to rush them through the syllables for the academic term.
Considering the initial academic calendar, we had enough time to go through the semester, but due to the strike, the semester has been kind of squeezed. 6 weeks was just added to the semester to complete the academic work, which has to take about 13 to 14 weeks.
The time they came back from the strike and the time we have to write exam was very close, and that they rushed through things, being it presentations, assignments, and then going through the course outline.
Some of the tutors were trying to catch up with the things that we need to do before the semester comes to an end. But as I speak, most of the courses we were able to finish them. But we are trying our best to ensure that we'll be able to write the exams successfully.
One can only hope that, as promised by the Prenkoff president, the teachers' concerns would be addressed to avert another strike. Evelyn Tinkma, TV3 News, Accra.
And that's our wrap of 6 a.m. news right here on TV3. My name is Judith Brown. Thanks for staying with us. We'll go for a short break. We'll be back with the rest of New Day. Good morning.